Sir Steve Redgrave has joined us. Hello, Steve. Good to see you.
No, it's good to be here. I've just been doing a podcast downstairs, and they said, "Oh, just come up and meet the team," and then suddenly I'm live.
You're on air.
Live on air.
We're old teammates, though.
No, definitely.
We did a charity thing years and years ago on at the London Aquarium, where we were in Steve's team for I think it was a charity event.
It was. I remember that very well.
I mean,
I think it was you, Matthew Pinson, you and me, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's not fair, really.
On rowing machines, I was very, very unfit. Of course, people then wanted to interview you, so after doing a blast on the ergo. I had to go and find the gents' toilet to sort of be sick and sort of get recovered before I came out.
Into it though,
It's just instinct. You can't not. That's why I avoid it like the plague, because your brain still says you can do it, and your body knows it can't.
When you go to the gym, do you get on the rowing machine? Do you find all eyes are suddenly on you?
Gym? What's that? Get out on the golf course, do a little bit of cycling, but no, don't go to the gym, and I won't go anywhere near a rowing machine.
We were just chatting to Brian, who's one of our American sports experts, and LeBron James is going to be carrying the flag for Team USA. And Brian said it's been seen as one of the greatest honours he's ever had in a star-studded career. And you did it twice.
I did it twice, yeah. It's amazing. I didn't think anybody would ever get it twice. And my reasoning for putting myself forward the second time was that I wanted Matthew to get it, and I didn't think the sport would get it 2 years running, or 2 Olympics running, I should say. There's 4 years between games. So I thought that if my name had been put forward, then that would sort of take me out of the equation, because I did it 4 years before, but then take the pressure off him, that if he then carried on, which I knew he was going to for another games, to get the opportunity. So Ryan got that honour three times running. So because Matthew did get it 4 years later.
Do you feel the responsibility of it? I mean, it is a great honour, but it's a kind of responsibility as well, isn't it? Really,
there is a responsibility, and the rowing tends to be at Olympics quite early in the mornings. We start racing the next day. And so actually in Barcelona we were up at a place called Banyoles, which is an hour and a half's drive from the village and the opening ceremony. And so my sport put myself forward, and then I was really surprised that I got it, but it was a great honour. And then sat down with Matthew and my coach and said, I can't do this, you're not going to go to a nightclub 2 days before you start competing, a week before your biggest race ever in your life. And I had some illness coming into it as well. So I said to Jürgen, I said, I can't do that. And he gave me a verbal clip round the ear and said, we'll organise it. So we got, I was allowed to leave late for the opening ceremony. They put me up in the village that night, because we had a separate village up at Banyoles. And then I was driven early the next morning, so I didn't miss any training. Matthew wasn't allowed to go; that he had to watch it on TV. So it was a huge honour. Walking out into that stadium, leading your team is of the pinnacle that you don't even dream about, because it's not sort of what would normally happen.
We've got a wonderful record in rowing in the Olympics. I mean, how are we looking for this particular competition?
Very, very strong. We've got 14 Olympic categories. We've got 10 that have qualified for that. We've got 4 that are reigning world champions going into it. We've got another 2 that have been of putting themselves forward of potential gold medalists. So that I think we will probably get 7 or 8 medals in total. If things don't go well, I think we'll win 3 gold medals, and if things go really well, we could win 6.
And who are the main kind of rivals to Team GB on the rowing front? I mean, is it the ones we've always known and loved that took you guys on, or are there some sort of new kids on the block?
Relatively new. They've been there or thereabouts for a long time. But the Netherlands, the Dutch, is that they were the strongest nation at last year's World Championships. They won 5 when we won 4. I think 10 of the gold medals will be split between the Netherlands and ourselves. Irish should get 1. Who are the other 4 that Romanians possibly 2, but there's a number of the Americans were even more disappointing than us 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I keep saying 4 years ago, but 3 years ago. But they've got a very quick men's 4 and a men's 8, which we're favourites to win both of those boats. So that'll be interesting to know how those races pan out. But no, we've got a very strong team, lots of medals.
I was just trying to look out to see where the actual rowing it takes place. It's not on the Seine, is it?
It's not on the Seine.
No.
It has to be still water, so it's a lake closer to Euro Disney. It's up in that sort of area.
You've been impressed with it from what you've seen?
I raced there back in the mid-90s. I hope it's changed a great deal since then. It was a bit bleak and very cold and quite windy and rough. The Junior World Championships is always the test event for the Olympics, which was like this time last year. That went to do quite well. They did have a few windy days, which caused a few delays. Actually, they brought racing earlier in the morning. But wind's always the issue with rowing. If it's no wind, then it's always good rowing conditions.
And are you, of the guys we know that you rowed with, are they all going to be out in Paris in various guises, as far as you know? We have a bit of a get-together?
I don't know what Tim and James are doing, but Matthew's out there. He's presenting for the BBC. So he will be there.
He's always involved in the boat race, isn't he? You always see him following the boats.
Yeah, he's an umpire, so he was. I think he was umpire this year in the boat race. He's broadcasting at the games as he did 3 years ago, and I think he does a couple of other sports. He does whitewater canoeing and triathlon and hockey, if I'm correct. He's certainly done those sports in the past, but I don't know if they're all under his belt this time.
Have you tried that bit of whitewater rafting?
I've done a little bit of canoeing, but flat water. Spent most of my time falling out the boat than being in it. But whitewater, no. I think it's very technical.
Quite dangerous.
I don't think it's dangerous. It's just difficult to stay in the boat.
Yeah. And we were talking to Kelly Holmes the other week, and she was saying that when she was out there competing, she never really got a chance to go and watch other stuff. But now she's in a kind of ambassadorial or commentary, or she's got a bit of a chance. She loves being there more recently. Is there other stuff you like to check out?
Well, athletics is in the second week.
Yeah.
So the last 10 days. So it's always difficult for them to then sort of go around and see other sports.
Sure.
Rowing's always in the first week, and this time it finishes of weather considering on the Saturday. So the first Saturday, it'll be the second Saturday, opening ceremony this Friday. So that normally then the athletes get the chance of going around and watching stuff. And I used to certainly see a lot. I love the track cycling. And being on the media side of media pass of getting everywhere, that's always fantastic.
Yeah.
In sense of since I stopped competing. But no, really, really exciting, really part of it. And seeing the best athletes in the individual sports at their pinnacle is just magical to see.
And the golf, I was going to say the golf not quite good enough to go for another gold in another sport.
Yeah, I'm trying hard. Is that the handicap I've got? I don't think I could win a gold medal even with a handicap, but. I might try and get out for one of the days of the golf.
I saw Shane Lowry saying he's trying to put the disappointment of Troon behind him after making such a good start. But, he's got off to represent Ireland in the Olympics, which he's got a real buzz for. It's great. I mean, these guys make a fortune, but when it comes down to it, they want to compete for their country.
Football should be in the Olympics, but that's me.
Well, that's contentious.
Yeah. I was reading. I mean, you did 5 Olympics. I was reading about Carl Hester this morning. This will be his 7th Olympics. I know it's a different sort of sport, obviously.
Equestrian, isn't it?
He's on a horse. You were killing yourself in a boat, but still quite an achievement to be across your sport like that.
Huge of commitment and involvement, and to be at that level. To be in that less than 1% that represents your country at Olympic Games, and that percentage then goes down the more games you do. So of 7 is pretty remarkable.
So so you're going to be a man in demand. I said I was just seeing what you're up to, and I see you're doing a kind of the Team GB base, an evening with Steve Redgrave. One of the things you're doing out there, along with some other. So it's going to be a busy time for you.
Busy time, but looking forward to doing all the stuff with talkSPORT.
Brilliant.
So dipping in and out of shows, not quite like this. Of here, sort of. Oh, you're here. Quick, go in here. Where am I going? What am I doing? I'll be in the studios here for the rowing finals. It's 4 days of them, and a bit out in Paris as well, tapping into the talkSPORT shows. So looking forward to it.
Well, we look forward to chatting to you during that. You can hear talkSPORT's full preview of the Paris Olympics on the Countdown to Paris podcast. That's available this Thursday. So Steve's on there, as is Dame Kelly Holmes and all of our experts bringing you the event. Of course, talkSPORT's going to bring you a daily Olympic podcast throughout the Games, and you can find those on the app, wherever you get your podcast, Download the app. It's the easiest thing to do. You can swipe between all the talkSPORT stations and our sister stations throughout the Olympics. But for now, Steve, have fun, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Good to see you.
So Steve Redgrave there. We're going to be chatting very shortly to Steve Bridger, popping in to see us. Will Maller as well. And say, if you'd like to go to Paris, Simon Calder will be marking your card to see if there's still time to get out there on a budget, relatively speaking. We're here with the Tool Station Club. Join the brand new loyalty programme. Get 5% off every order. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.